I mean, the media is incredibly partisan. I mean, they're not. Almost all the media is, left shifted.
I want to show you one more thing related to mainstream media and their lies, because one of the big stories on X over the last couple of days is that the New York Times wrote an insane hit piece on David Sacks. David Sacks is not only a friend of mine, but he's co-host of the All In podcast. Now he's on temporary hiatus as he is the White House AI and crypto czar. Listen to this from the New York Times. Silicon Valley's man in the White House is benefiting himself and his friends. David Sacks, the Trump administration's AI and crypto czar, has helped formulate policies that aid his Silicon Valley friends and many of his own tech investments. And it was just an unbelievable hit job, scary black and white picture and everything else. David Sacks, first off, he divested in almost all of his cryptocurrency to be part of this administration. I have to tell you, as someone that started a tech company, Locals, which David actually invested in, and you know why David invested in it? He invested in it because I met him and his wife at a party, and I had no idea who he was. This was a couple of years ago, and his wife, lovely lady Jacqueline, comes up to me and she's going on, Dave, I'm a big fan, blah, 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 blah. We talk for a while. I take a picture with the two of them. Some guy comes up to me after and he goes, oh, you know David Sacks? He's great. I was like, I don't know, who is that? So some guy, he said his name was David. And he's like, oh, well, he's this legendary tech guy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I get on the phone with Sacks a couple days later. I explain what we're doing with Locals and I'm fighting for free speech. He looks at the numbers quick. And within 5 minutes, he invested in what we were doing because he believed in, he's like, Dave, I like you. I believe in free speech. Let's try it. And that opened up so many doors for us. I know him to be nothing other than a good man. But what does the New York Times do if you are a good person and if you divest yourself from as much as you can to be crypto and AI czar? Is it going to help? Is David Sacks, who is bullish on crypto and AI, inherently, so it's his job to figure out policy related around that, is that going to be good for some of the people in his world, like Elon and others? Well, of course it is. And it's good for everybody, right? Because everyone can get in the crypto and AI game. Everyone can be part of it. And you can put a few dollars aside every day and buy some Bitcoin or whatever you want to do. So they just run these absolutely insane stories and no one's buying it anymore. Here is friend of David Sacks, Elon Musk.
The whole thing's very crazy. I mean, the media is incredibly partisan. I mean, they're not, almost all the media is, left shifted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird if you talk to somebody who gets all their information from like what I call legacy media, they're living in a different world.
Yeah.
Than if they say are listening to, your podcast or getting news from X or, just if it's kind of wild. Like
it is very wild.
Like you talked, it's like they're living in an alternate reality.
Oh, there's a lot of people that I talk to that I have to go, where did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Associated Press, which I call Associated Propaganda, the AP, they ran a international news story saying that DOGE fired air traffic controllers, but we didn't fire any air traffic controllers at all. In fact, we're trying to hire air traffic controllers, not fire them.
Yeah, I saw that. You made a tweet about it, right?
It's really interesting because I know obviously you're familiar with that notion before, and I talk about it all the time. Like we're all watching the same movie and just seeing two completely different things. That's an idea that I got from Scott Adams. I think it's quite right. Like if your neighbor is paying attention to mainstream media and you're getting all your stuff from X or watching this show, you guys have a fundamental disconnect in reality. We all get that. By the way, it doesn't mean that just because you get all your news from X or you watch Rogan or you watch me or anything else that you are getting everything right. You obviously aren't, and it's very hard to tell. One of the things that I struggle with all the time is it's very hard to tell how much what's happening online is actually translating into the real world. It used to be that social media was a mirror. It's become a bit of a funhouse mirror now, and it's algorithmically manipulated. And we talked last week about all of the foreign bots and trolls and these accounts that pretend they're American, that have hundreds of thousands of followers, and it turns out they're in Pakistan or elsewhere. So there's all sorts of craziness around here.